What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bogey Proof. I got myself and Mike on the line tonight. About halfway through, almost towards the end of the California swing now. We got a lot of golf to get through, a lot of golf to catch up on, talk about. Pretty packed agenda tonight, both men's, ladies, all that fun stuff. But before we do that, Michael, how's school and what are we sipping on?
School is going well. Thank you for asking, Matt. It's lovely to see your face. It's lovely to have a cocktail in your presence. Looking forward to a couple rounds of golf and a couple more cocktails, possibly in a hot tub, possibly, little pre-round yoga, getting loose out there before we, go make some birdies on those golf courses in Orlando. But, school's going well here, pretty busy, excited for a little spring break and getting down to Florida and playing some golf. But it's good. Sipping on a little, finishing up this glass, so that I'll be refilling. I got the bottle right next to me just in case I get a little thirsty. You guys know the drill. Whiskey Acres, DeKalb, Illinois, straight bourbon, seed to still. All it is, it's just good, classic Illinois corn, wheat. It's all you need in your life. So sipping on this, definitely going to fill it up shortly, but enjoying the evening, ready to chat a little bit. What about yourself, Matt?
I'm sipping on, shout out Valentine's Day. And shout out my girlfriend. Got me
hey, this is from Elizabeth, so appreciate her and her family for getting this for Christmas.
Shout out to the Valentines out there. Four Roses single barrel. Been one that's been on the radar lately. We always talk about Four Roses small batch. I'm pretty sure that's like a bogey proof staple. I think we've all at different segments of this podcast history been working our way through a barrel as we record these things. But yeah, we finally got the single barrel version instead of the small batch, and it is, to take Joey's words, quite delicious. It is fantastic. Got the big cube, even got a little Yellowstone glass. Shout out to all my people out there watching Yellowstone. Shows chaotic but incredible. So I'm firing on all cylinders tonight. I'm ready to talk some golf.
Sounds, that sounds like if Joey would use delicious, I'm going to start using delectable. That's going to be my word. And when I think of Four Roses, and specifically Four Roses, for me, it's small batch. Excited to hear kind of the full analysis at a later time on this, on this single, but excited for you. And I hope you enjoy that cocktail, because it means, Valentine's Day, bourbon, you pop a new bottle, you got a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah, it's been a good week. We're also getting down to the bottom of this glass too, as we're having a meeting of the minds for bogey proof here before this episode. So I'm gonna have to also top myself off here as we get going. But without further ado, I think we left off going into Pebble. Kind of probably can skip over that. I mean, Tom Hoge gets it done. Jordan kind of flirted with it. Had to share the lead at one point on the back nine, and Tom Hoge kind of just ran him down with 6 birdies on the back nine, and absolutely flushing it. Not too much else going on there, but there was a lot going on at the Waste Management Phoenix Open last week. Did you get a chance to watch any of it live, or did you just watch via social media and the nonsense over the weekend?
Yeah, I got a chance to watch a ton on the weekend, not a lot during the week. Had a busy week for sure. I just like to correct you quickly. It's no longer Waste Management, but WM. They've rebranded.
Oh, that's right. They just totally dropped it.
They've rebranded, so just put a little respect on their name. I know they have some headquarters in Connecticut, so they got some stuff going on there, local business, But I watched quite a bit. The golf course. I'll talk golf course first before we get into the craziness of just whatever that back nine is. But the golf course seems to get better and better every single year. So I think, as seen by kind of how strong the field was, and it's firm and fast out there. The desert comes into play probably more on that golf course than a lot of the other places we see, right? So we often see people playing out of these little bushes, or dealing with stones in the desert and doing all these kind of things. So I had a ton of fun. Before we even get to the craziness, I really enjoyed the golf course. I think 16 is so nuts, but 17 is an awesome golf course. Kind of a shame what happened to the Gala, down the stretch on 17 with that tough break and the tough bounce. But overall, just really impressed by the golf course. What were kind of your thoughts on, I guess, the golf being played before we get to kind of, because we got to talk about the golf, because if we don't talk about it, we maybe don't even consider it a golf tournament. I don't know what category it's in, but it's so beyond that. It's insane.
It is. And to your point, like, they restored the golf course back in like 2013 or something like that, after the scores were like 20 plus under every year. And it was kind of becoming a joke, and a lot of guys dropping out because it's like, it's not really helping me get any better, yada, yada, yada. Right. So they restored it, and like they did it fucking awesome. Like that course now, like the front nine, like there's not a ton of holes that stand out, but not people aren't going out there and shooting 30 on the front either. Like it's firm. It's a lot of like good par fours, which usually aren't that exciting to watch, right? Yeah. But it was firm this past weekend and fast, like to your point, 16, right? Like obviously it's the stadium hole chaos, but like a good ass par 3 regardless, especially with that pin up on the back with how firm it was. Like those guys are hitting 9 irons in the middle of the green, and it's like ascending back there. You know what I'm saying? Like they're so afraid of the firmness. Like they're hitting 40 feet back, and it's still like getting a little scary of how far it rolls out. Like golf courses are just so much more fun to watch when they're firm like that. Like the holes out there are like so good on that, especially that back nine, with it's like par 5, that par 3, the par drivable 4 on 17. And I think 18 is an awesome finisher, like really demanding tee shot. But like after that, it's relatively, it's not that long by any means, but like there's nowhere really to bail with that tee shot. Like if you miss on either side, like you got to hit a pretty miraculous shot to get anywhere near a pin on that green. But like it's just good finishing holes, and when it plays firm like that, like the ball's on the ground longer, it leads to like, especially like, again, they're doing a lot of things right at that event. Like when you have the crowds in the stadium and everybody watching, when the ball's on the ground, it gives time for people to notice it and react to it, and it's rolling, right? Yeah, so you get the whoa, like as it's getting closer and closer and closer, versus if it's soft as shit and it's just coming in the air and just plop, like you miss the shot like by the time you're reacting to everybody else's reaction. So it's like not as like doesn't build the moment, right? Like the firmness, just like it was perfect. The winning score being the playoff score being 16 under, like that's probably the highest I want to see it for, like, the right competitiveness. But the way it played so firm, you could have told me it was 8 under, whatever. Like, like it's not the longest course in the world. So those guys go out there and eat up the par 5s pretty well, but like, just a joy to watch on TV, regardless of the theatrics going on, we'll call them, like just exciting golf holes, the firmness, the way they got to play around those greens, a lot of bump and runs you saw last week versus, the classic, just open it up and flop it and pick your spot and have it trickle out 6 feet. Like you see at most places. Like just truly, like, to your point, like, do not want to forget to talk about how good the golf has gotten there the last few years, as well as like the theatrics of it all. And it makes for one really awesome event and kind of fitting for Super Bowl weekend. But
I mean, outside of the Gala, who's quite literally a stud, right? The guy's going to be a winner on the PGA Tour and probably a multiple time winner in the next few years with at least the way he played. The other the other guys in the top 5, Scheffler gets it done. Cantlay, probably the best player. Yeah, Brooks, Schauffele, right? Studs. And Cantlay, it's hard to argue that he's not the best player in golf right now.
Yeah.
He's just such an interesting. He's so interesting to me because he doesn't crush the ball. He doesn't do anything spectacular, but he just like never hits it offline.
Yeah,
it's the irons are so good. Poorly. No,
everything's so elevated. Like his worst stat is like, 50th on tour. Like, and everything else is above that. So it's like he has no true weakness in his game. And like you said, he doesn't hit it 400 yards, but he doesn't hit it 280 either. Like he hits it good enough. And like you said, everything. It seems like every shot he hits is 5 yards plus or minus cut or draw. Like he's not out here having to hit this 20 yards cut or something like that and trying to fit it into fairways or whatever. Like he basically picks his line and just hits it at it every time, and just probably has a thought of like, all right, I want to turn this a little left to right, and like lets that happen versus like really trying to hit a hard cut. Like it just, he's like putting together quite the stretch. He's 4 for 4 top 10s to start the year, which is obviously pretty impressive, especially being like the range of golf courses it's at too, like American Express, like Tournament of Champions, like Torrey, and then this, it's like just all over the place with the type of course it's occurring at. But yeah, it's all around, like, to get into kind of the winners there, like Cantlay and Scheffler. Shout out to our guy Scotty, finally getting the win, like long time coming, been playing unreal golf. I was so happy he got the Ryder Cup nod last year, played really well out there, took down John Rahm in singles, like everything you can ask for. And he's finally, got it done on the weekend too, like made the cut on the number by 1 and then shot like 8 under, 5 under on the weekend to kind of catapult up that leaderboard and get into that playoff. I'm a big Scotty guy. I'm a big fan of him. He's just a young American, kind of coming up and like unorthodox kind of swing. Like he's in that class, like not by, his accomplishments yet, but like he's in the Morikawa, Hovland, like Matthew Wolff. Like,
he's
in that
top 10 player of the year, of the top 10 player in the world right now. So
yeah, he's in that crop, and it's like, now that he's got this one off his back, I think the majors, he starts contending it. I mean, people forget TPC Harding Park. He was in the final group with DJ on Sunday, and, that was his rookie season. And I think he still finished in the top 5 there, but wasn't able to get it done. But long story short, the golf course was awesome. It played awesome. Like you said, that top 5 with Scheffler, Cantlay, Schauffele, Brooks, and then Sahith, Tagawa, like just awesome TV to watch. Like I was super excited to watch Saturday and Sunday for the golf. So cannot complain. Really good stuff. But now the MAYHEM, I think, like, what is your thoughts on that? Like, I'll let you go first, and then I'll add my 2 cents. But
yeah,
it's something.
I don't know. I don't want to discount it at all, because I think it's an amazing thing. And the amount of people that I saw on like Instagram of friends from high school and college who are not golf fans or were not golf fans who are out there this weekend is astonishing. People that are just making a pilgrimage to Phoenix, Scottsdale, Arizona, to go watch this golf tournament and booze their face off and just enjoy themselves. And, I felt like by the end of the weekend, they were like, they knew golf lingo, right? They kind of knew what was going on. I think it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not sure it would be my first place to go to watch a golf tournament, but
I think I missed my window for that. I think if you asked me 5 years ago, it'd be like the number 1 on my list.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could do that anymore.
Like, I think I just don't know. I don't see myself like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to show up there to go to the 16th hole to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I just can't get past the image in it's burned into my freaking skull right now of how many beer cans were on the 16th hole when they made those aces.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Like, just pure chaos, pure joy, just players having so much fun, fans having a blast, tournament administrators kind of letting it happen to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that there wasn't too much pushback. I think it's serving a purpose. It's great for golf. It's great for the PGA Tour. Like, beyond
make your game fun.
Yeah. So
I think
I like it. It's got enough. If it was a terrible golf course,
right,
and the field was terrible, it's a different story. I think maybe I don't like it as much, but it looked like a blast. I can tell you that, and it's hard to discount that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's they have the perfect blend right now of strong enough field where you have enough eyes on it, regardless of stuff like that happening. Like, you can't bet on a hole-in-one happening, right? Like, but like then to have that situation occur, and like you said, like the tour administration and like PGA Tour just kind of like rolling with it versus making a big fuss about it. Like hell yeah, like we always talk about on the PGA Tour, like we don't need another 72-hole stroke play event, whatever. But like if you make a couple more of them like this, then I'm all for it. Like, make the fucking 3M build a stadium on one of their par 3s out there. I don't know, like, obviously you got to find the golf course where you have the infrastructure and the room to do something like that, but like make it happen somewhere, or even maybe not even a par 3, make it a par 4, whatever. Make it so that like you can set up one hole and be like, hey, this is going to be like, like basically tell the fans like don't be idiots, but like have at it, like play, like the players will tell you whether they want you to be quiet or whatever, like, because the guys go like this if they want you to ignore the be quiet signs, right? Like, but like giving players that, or like giving the fans like that, like access, I guess, right? Like letting them do that. And like at the tournaments, like with the WM, before the golf course restoration, before all this stuff, like there's like I said, a lot of factors going into making this work here, but like why not try to you can't force that, but like why not like build more arenas of that nature, and on these courses where it's like, hey, the winning score is 22 under, nobody even knows the golf course we're playing half the time, the field's half and half, but like make it an event like that. I'm not saying do it every week, right? You can probably do it 2-3 times a year maybe before it becomes overkill and loses a little bit of its like spark, but like take that, like this year, that success you had last week, and run with it, like I just can't believe they're gonna like go to like the 3M and like try to be all proper at a place like that versus like, let them rip, like let the fans have fun.
I think too, like there's maybe, right, like at Zurich they play the music right before, but it's kind of a team event, so it's kind of corny as is. But like, why can we not have, right? So we had a whole stadium today or this week, but why can we not have, like, there's got to be a golf course set up where the first tee shot on that course is secluded enough where it's like away from the 18th green or like really important things happening. Build a fucking massive stadium like they do with the Ryder Cup.
Yep.
Blast fucking music, throw celebrities on the first tee, like do whatever you got to do and just make it kind of like a party to start. And, I feel like at that point too, you're like, you go have some fun. Players can do whatever. They can get hyped up. They can just like,
go along with it, whatever.
Along with it, whatever. But it's only a half a hole, right? Like, you leave it at that. And, but like, there's maybe some more interactions. You're getting live interviews on the tee or something like that before they hit their tee shot, or I don't know. But like, I just think, maybe there's a chance to do something like that, or. This is like a little bit too far out of there, and I don't know in the stipulations of golf if you could actually do this, but like why can you not have them play the front 9 and then have like a par 9.5 where they hit a shot to a an extra green or a smaller target for charity or something like that.
You build it like make it so there's almost a little crowd around it where you get the reactions. I agree. There's got to be a way to take, because like clearly they just proved like there's the energy is there. Like if you put the bar carts near them and like build a little stadium for it and like make it so they can see the golf shots without having to like follow the ball in the air a whole lot, like not tee shots are kind of hard, or if they're coming in with long approaches, it's hard to follow the ball, whatever. But like make it so it's like, all right, I see the ball on the green. Where's it going? Oh God, it rolled off. Like, whoa, boo, whatever. Like make it like you got to find a way to like just like let the fans like be more authentic with the players. Like it leads to like both sides just having way more fun. It's fun on TV. You get people like fucking Harry Higgs and Joel Damon taking their shirts off on the 16th green during the event, like absolute like anarchy, chaos, whatever. But like it's because you built that little stadium and you built that arena for them to like, like it's like fucking Gladiator. Like, are you not entertained? Like, like that's the mindset that guys have going into there. And obviously, depending on where they're at in the tournament and the day of the week, there's different, levels to that. Are you not entertained, right? Like some guys are trying to do it by making a birdie and like taking the lead and like getting crazy with the crowd. Like Sahit's walking down the fairway, holding his putter up, like, let's go, whatever. Like, or you have guys taking their shirt off because they're, playing for 40th and 45th and they don't really care as much, so it's like, there's just so much, like, I just don't see the harm in it. Like, obviously if it becomes like dangerous and they're like throwing bottles like for no reasons and shit like that, like, yeah, that can be a problem. But like, it seems like they have a good like respect level with like, like they're walking the line pretty well right now with WM. And I imagine like they do the same again. Like, I feel like it's like one of those things, like you enforce it early and then, you know, like you let it ride the rest of the day. Like you draw your lines pretty clearly and whatever. But I don't know. Long story short, the WM was one of the funner events of the year, like non-major. Like it's not the quality of event that Riv is that we're about to get into next year, but like it puts on this show, man. Like it's perfect fitting for Super Bowl, right? Just like, hey, we're an entertainment product. We're golf. Like we're not playing for the most money this week or the most prestigious trophy, but like we're gonna have a hell of a lot of fucking fun doing it. And it's like golf needs to do that a lot more and stop being so serious at when they're playing tournaments that people don't even know about. You know, like when you play 50 whatever stroke play tournaments a year, like let's throw 5 of them and have this approach to it and like build it up as the entertainment product versus like trying to be all serious and buttoned and whatever. Like let it rip, you know, like you don't have to do it every week. You don't want to do it at majors. I get that, but like there's enough tournaments on the calendar. You can squeeze a couple more of this mindset in. But
yeah, no, for sure. Great week. Speaking of Super Bowl, a couple questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you think the game was? What is your favorite Super Bowl snack, and did you have it? And did you win any bets? Those are my three quick hitters for you.
Well, first of all, the game, I liked it because it was close. Like it wasn't the most exciting game in the world, but at least you didn't want to miss a drive because that could have been the drive they scored and took a lead or you know extended the lead depending on what team you're looking at, right? Whatever. So I appreciate it being close because last year's was not close and not exciting either. So it's like it was only exciting because Tom Brady won, you know, like. But I appreciate it because like I was pulling for Joe Burrow. I just think he's been an awesome story, and he's just like that dude. Like he's like the Jordan Spieth of football. It feels like where he's like he doesn't do anything that jumps off the page like statistically or whatever, but like he just finds a way to win and like greater than the sum of his parts kind of guy. Like has like that intangible kind of factor in him that's just like contagious. It brings everybody around him, makes him better, yada yada yada. So I was pulling for Joey B. Just because of the way the Bengals got there. Like the Rams like went all in and bought that team versus like the Bengals were like, here, Joey B, we'll get you your receiver from college and like, let's see what you guys can do. And they're like, all right, like, fuck yeah, we'll go to the Super Bowl, you know, like, and obviously they made free agent moves and shit like that too, but it just like had a different feel to it. So I was pulling for the Bengals. I lost every way because I bet them money line for the value. And then I did like an over and a Rams like parlay as the week went on, and I was like, I don't know how they're gonna beat that defensive line, yada yada yada. So they only lost by 3, so I lost every way. So that's how my betting night went. I did hit the over on the national anthem though, I guess, but I only put like $5 on that, so it didn't cover the other losses. So gambling not so great, game like not so great, but at least close enough where you had to pay attention the whole time. Halftime show was awesome. I love that.
All I gotta say is there was some chatter and like so Elizabeth was like sending me screenshots of her family, whatever. And this is just like classic suburban mom commentary here. So I'm letting you in on the insight, and I will get her consent to maybe post this because it's that hilarious. So like everyone was all in on this, right? They're like, oh yeah, super cool. Like honestly, I thought the way they set it up, the halftime setup was tremendous. Like
the stage or whatever was awesome. That was so cool.
The stage was great. Like there wasn't too many dancers, so you kind of could focus on like the artist was kind of the focus there. Mary J. Blige, probably a little past her prime. A little shaky on the vocals. Snoop Dogg and Dre were killing it. Obviously, we got 50 Cent coming in like he's back in prison.
There's just a lot going on, but I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, and then but so we're like they're like chatting in the group message and like, yeah, this is awesome, blah blah blah. And her mom just goes, no, Snoop Dogg is a criminal.
He smoked a little weed before he went out there. He's fine. But it's funny, like, me being 26, 6. Like that, like I felt like I was warming up for a middle school basketball game again. Like that was my playlist for middle school basketball. It was like those 7 songs that were played. Like it was like warm-ups that were like 7th grade CYO all over again or whatever, like yeah. So it was right up my alley. But yeah, I don't know.
Snack.
Oh, snack. I'm like, I keep it pretty simple. It's like get like really good wings, a bunch of wings, few different flavors, and then like chips and dips. Like I'm not really a big like pizza for the one game guy. Like I'm a pizza for a full day of football because like you
Yeah.
pick at it throughout the day. But if it's like one game like Super Bowl, give me all the buffalo chicken dips, the taco dips, the whatever dips, guac, whatever, right? All that shit. And then some wings. And I actually had them on Saturday versus Sunday because Sunday was night before Valentine's Day. So we're doing like the Valentine's dinner spread because like Monday work and Valentine's Day, whatever.
Yeah.
So did not eat that stuff for the Super Bowl, but I had it the day before, kind of like preemptively celebrating for the Super Bowl.
I've never heard that setup before, but I respect it. I respect
How about you?
it.
What's game, bets, and snack?
Didn't bet $1. I'm a man
for the
of
best.
yeah. I have not bet much really in the last 6 months. I just NFL has been tough. I mean, I think there's a couple gimmies every week for regular season, but Super Bowl I thought was tough. If I were to bet, I was going to bet on the Bengals, so I'm glad I didn't bet. And then I think my money would have been on, Cup or Chase to win the MVP, depending on which way I went. But if I were to bet the Bengals, I probably would have had Chase. So
yeah,
like, at
they're
the end of the
fucking so good. Those two, it's crazy.
yeah. So but I agree. I didn't think it was that exciting, but good game for sure. Snacks. I keep it relatively simple too. I'm a big chip, salsa, guac, queso type of guy.
Love that.
So I made some homemade guac. I went and just watched the game with some friends from school. 7 nice ripe avocados, the majority of an onion, a couple tomatoes. A lot of people don't like tomatoes in their guac. I like just a little bit.
I do too.
Couple cloves of garlic, cilantro, 2 limes, a lot of salt, pepper, and I put a little paprika in there, just a little color, a little extra spice.
Do you use yellow or red onion?
I use yellow because I had it. I like both. I don't. Yeah. I don't think either. I don't think they taste different enough to like change, especially when you put a bunch of cilantro and garlic, and all that kind of stuff. But like, I do like the bite of red onion. I just don't. It's less useful overall in cooking. And I went to Costco and got a huge bag of onions, so I was like, better just get that. But so I just made that and enjoyed that. Had a couple other little snacks there, but yeah, I mean, some fresh guac when the avocados are ripe and you get the good ingredients, it's tough not to just like absolutely hammer that down all night long.
I've been known like, because the avocados, man, it's a fine line, right? So like I've been known to like, whenever I notice the avocados are ripe, just like we got 2 or 3 hanging around, whipping up a bowl of guac and having chips, and that's my lunch for the day. Like you can't waste the opportunity of ripe avocados. You got to make that guac. No. I'm usually a garlic powder guy versus cloves, but other than that, a very similar recipe.
So I'm always a little after my time in San Antonio when the avocados were 29 cents a piece. I feel a little robbed every time I go and get an avocado in the Northeast or in the Midwest, because that was like our ritual. They're like, we'd make like a whole stainless steel massive bowl of guac, because you could get all the avocados for like $3 to make fucking 12 servings. But nonetheless, enjoyed Super Bowl. Before we get to Riv, let's check in a little ladies golf. Leona Maguire getting it done in Florida, the first female from Ireland from Ireland to get it done on the LPGA Tour. Really exciting. Tons of pros and politicians and just people from Ireland in general coming out of the woodworks, celebrating the win and chatting to how important it is not only for the game of golf but also just for Ireland. Right, we've seen for 40-50 years golf, PGA Tour golfers from Ireland kind of having success, and the first one on the LPGA Tour. So really exciting. I know you are in-house LPGA Tour aficionado and a big fan of Leona Maguire. So what were your kind of quick thoughts on that before we get to Riv?
Yeah, I thought it was just like you said, it's just awesome to see, history like that, right? Like it's the first ever in the LPGA's, however long the LPGA's tour has been around, but like first ever woman from Ireland to go out there and get in the winner's circle. It's just for me, it's like I started my LPGA journey as this bogey proof journey started, so relatively new to the game. And like the statement she made at the Solheim Cup last year, like I just thought it was awesome for her to like validate that. Like she has a prolific amateur career, like multiple time ACC player of the year at Duke, like won national titles individually, all that fun stuff. And like, kind of slow out of the gates on tour, but then comes out at Solheim and all of a sudden it's like, hey, like, like holy shit, like where'd this come from? And then I was just, it was awesome, like the validation to like go out and get it done by herself too, in a different, back to the 7-tool stroke play event versus team events, because it's very like different. There's always certain like Ryder Cuppers that like whether on the men's side that are like a flash in the pan at the Ryder Cup and then they fall face the earth. Like the most recent example I can think of is like a guy like Thomas Peters, like 2016 Hazeltine. He was fucking unbelievable. Like went 4-0-1, played with Rory all week and like looked like the best golfer on the planet for that weekend. And like borderline lost his card after that. Like he's so far down. He plays over in Europe predominantly now, all this stuff, but it's like just things like that it's like it just was awesome to see her like not be that story and like go out there and then come back, like play well, get her first win, like and like now she's running downhill, like there's no more doubts anymore, right? Like I was an awesome amateur. I balled out at the Solheim. I'm now in my third or fourth year on tour. I have my first win now. Like I'm good. I'm comfortable. Like let's fucking go. Like and she was just so fiery too. Like wears the shades out there, and she doesn't hit it all that far at all. Probably one of the shorter hitters on the LPGA Tour, to be honest. Like very Jin Young Ko-esque of just like plots her way around and putts like a fucking demon. Like just does like approach play, just throws darts and just makes every 8-footer she looks at. So love Leona. I think just it was an awesome story for her to go out there and get that done, especially like carrying the lead into Sunday. Like that's all everybody's talking about, right? Like it's not like she snuck up and went and got it. Like she led most of the tournament, so it's like talked about all week, and then to go out there and just get it done on Sunday, I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch a ton. Got to see the highlights kind of after every round, and for sure, I mean, she's killer. I think we saw that at Solheim that she's got a little something special, and agreed. Nice to see that she's able to carry it into a stroke play event and get it done, and was best amateur in the world for like 2 full years at Duke.
Yeah.
I don't think that just doesn't happen. She was playing at a
doesn't
higher
happen
level.
on accident, that's for sure.
She was playing at a higher level than every other person in the world who wasn't a pro golfer for a long period of time. Like at some point that's gonna translate. We've seen it in the men's game, tons of former world number ones or close to world number ones, guys like Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland, who at some point, were kind of up in that, top amateur player in the world. And, we've seen what that's done, what that's translated. I think we maybe need another year because of how far, Ko and Nelly Korda are above everyone. But would I be surprised if Leona Maguire is a top 10 player at the end of the year? Probably not. I think she's capable of that. So excited to follow along, and they're on a little bit, they don't play a ton of tournaments here kind of, in the January, February, March time period, but excited to, have the LPGA Tour kind of wrap, kick up a little bit, here at the beginning of the spring.
Yeah, they have a funky schedule. They take some time off, and then I think they go over in Asia for a little while.
They do.
That's why they take a breather, let everybody kind of get their ducks in a row before you spend, a month or so over in a entirely different country. So, looking forward to that though. And without further ado, let's get to Riv, one of the probably outside of the players, like probably the premier event on the PGA Tour that's not a major, I'd say.
Yeah.
at least from like a field perspective and things like that. It's like Riviera Country Club is just elite, elite, elite. I think guys have put it in like their top 3, like in the country, multiple like top 5 in the country for the tour players. And it's hosted everything from USAMs to obviously this event for a long time. I think it's held PGA championships too, along the way. Like
had a US Senior Open, has had a PGA.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, just awesome golf course. It's always firm, fast, and just quality hole after quality hole after quality hole that shows well on TV too for our sake of like the way it's like the whatever kind of trees they got out there. They're just like, you know, skinny at the bottom and then they kind of bloom up top. So like you can still see around versus like a place like Torrey. It just like all you see is like long rough and like whatever. It's just like it just plays really well on TV for the quality of golf it is versus like we talk about a lot with like a Torrey, a Winged Foot, etc. Like I know they're unbelievable golf courses, but like they're not the funnest to watch. Riv does a much better job of like towing that line. I'm sure that's not like why they built it, but like it just happens to work out that way with, and especially at a hole like 10, like the most iconic drivable par 4 probably in golf, with like the super long skinny green. And like it's one of those holes. It's just so like it's obviously a featured hole this week on ESPN Plus. Shout out to that coverage. It's been awesome this year to start the year, I think. If you're working tomorrow and you got a like light afternoon, like throw that on, like watch that 10th hole, like just all these guys, so many different approaches to it. And like almost all of them result in like either an 8-footer for birdie or an 8-footer for par, like depending on, you know, which way they went about it. Like there's not much else going on out there, but it plays really well. It's a good course. And actually for the field this week, all top 10 in the world playing in this event for the first time ever. It's like the first non-major that's happened at in like stupid amount of years. But what do you got about Riv? I mean, whether it's field or the course itself, I mean, I think it's just one of the best of the year every year.
Yeah, I mean, I respect the golf course for sure. I think, you know, a common thread and something we've talked about even today, right? Firm and fast just makes a golf course and the viewing of a golf tournament exponentially better. You know, and I think we've been lucky for quite a bit of time here at Riviera getting firm and fast conditions. And so, you know, excited to watch this week. Kind of not great weather here in Michigan, so been able to sneak in a little extra coverage. You know, we'll be on Thursday and Friday. That usually wouldn't get to do with having to be in class or in work. But yeah, I mean, great golf course. I would be interested to see kind of the overall strength of the field. My guess is it's probably pretty close to what we get from a strength to like you know, PGA or, you know, Open Championship or Players type of vibe. I gotta think it's up there. You know, not a whole lot of, you know, even the sponsor invites, right? The sponsor invites outside of the one guy who won the Sifford exemption. They're all studs, right? They're all guys that have had success in the PGA Tour. Tiger Woods just sitting on the first tee while you're hitting that tee shot this week.
I actually just sent a tweet out because they were showing pictures of him, and I responded to whoever put the picture out. He looks so much better this year. Like, thank God. Like last year, we talked about it before the accident. Even he just looked like in a different world. Like he was so out of it. Like eyes like bloodshot and loopy. Like he looked high. You know, whatever. Like no other way to really put it. And he just looks healthy this year. He gave a presser yesterday. This is Thursday recording. He gave a presser yesterday. Long way from like getting back to golf, but he's, you know, progressing well in like the physical aspect of like him being able to walk and like strength and things like that, which obviously comes before the golf anyways, because it's not like he can, even if he can swing a club, it doesn't mean he can walk, you know, 72 holes in a tournament and 36 the week during the week prior to that for practice rounds and pro-ams and whatever. So yeah, shout out the cat. Looks a lot better this year. I don't know when he's going to be back. Sounds like everybody's saying St. Andrews just due to how flat that place is. And, you know, gives him also like 5-6 more months to kind of keep progressing, which it sounds like he's doing. So we'll leave it at that. We'll get into cat talk more whenever. But he did commit to coming back, and he said he will be playing the PGA Tour again. So what capacity that's in, we'll find out.
I gotta think he gets out there before. And we'll talk about it later, but I think he has a trial run in the US before he goes to St. Andrews.
Yeah, I agree. I think St. Andrews is his goal, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. Like, I want to be taking it seriously by St. Andrews. I don't want to like go out there to hit it around. Like, I want to be like, trying to compete by St. Andrews. Because he's not going to go out there just to like hit and giggle. He's not wired that way. So no. I agree. I think it makes sense for him to pick out something along the way. I'm trying to think of like other flat places, but
yeah, I mean,
pick out something along the way in that end of like what would it be? Probably July. They're over there, so probably pick out something in June.
It's tough.
I think they're in like Texas that time of year.
It's tough. I mean, ready? So here's the June schedule is Muirfield, Village, RBC Canadian Open, which I'd be surprised if he plays in.
Yeah.
The US Open.
Yeah, not gonna
Travelers Championship, John Deere.
He's not going to play in the Travelers or the John Deere either.
Like,
imagine he goes to Travelers. I'm buying my tickets tomorrow. I'm buying them tomorrow before he sneaks in the Travelers appearance on us. Oh my God, I literally can't. I'd call out of work the whole week.
I mean, realistically though, can you imagine if he plays the travel? I mean, it's probably a week. He probably plays I don't know, maybe he plays the Travelers and then gets over to like, Scotland for 2.5 weeks or something like that before.
That'd be fucking sick. If he went to Hartford, the world would burn. They don't have the capacity for him. They don't have enough room in that disaster of a parking situation they have over there. That'd be insane. Oh my God. But anyway, back to
but yeah, no, really strong field this week. Excited to watch. Expecting a stud to get it done. I think, obviously we put out a picks post this week. And currently, as we do this recording, Joaquin Niemann went low today, 8 under with the next best score 5. So, but it's one day, excited to kind of watch the rest of it, and we expect a really good winner this year. We've seen a lot of them outside of fucking JB Holmes get it done here a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's the one blip in the radar for sure. But yeah, I think, like you said, Niemann went out and got it done, but Riv's a place that can sneak up and get you at any hole. So he's obviously awesome round today, but it's not like he's going to be able to just kick it into neutral and ride that in. He's got to still play really good golf the rest of the way. Also want to shout out Max Homa following up his win with a T2 today, like 5 under. So in that group at 5 right behind 10, him. I think. Yeah, he made a like 80-footer. Yeah. Shout out to him for following up, probably the biggest win of his career. Being at the Genesis, like his home course, he used to watch this tournament all the time growing up, yada, yada, yada. But it's good to see him like follow up, like defend that, right? That's a hard thing to do, especially for a guy that, has 3 wins on tour, I think. So it's not like he has a lot of practice at defending titles or whatever. And especially at a place that means that much to him, it's good for him to have those emotions in check and kind of go out there and ball out. So yeah, it's going to be it's like you said, it's DJ's won here a bunch, Bubba won here a bunch when he was playing well. It's a place that just brings out really good winners. The Cat never got it done, but like just going down this leaderboard right now, like I said, Niemann, then you got Scheffler, Spieth, Cameron Young, Max Homa, CT Pan sneaking up there, but then Morikawa, Cam Smith, JT, like Matt McNeely, Adam Scott, who's won here before. It's Tony Finau's not too far behind, Rahm, Schauffele. They're all like in the top 20 after day one. So a lot of good names that hopefully that leaderboard kind of bunches up as the weekend goes on and we get the cream rising to the crop for an exciting finish, because it is just a really, really good golf course and, always seems to have a little bit of drama, always good finishes. So I'm looking forward to a fun week out in LA for the rest of this weekend.
Excited to watch and excited to have a couple bourbons this weekend and see how the golf turns out. I haven't had a weekend like that in a while, so I think I'm probably due for something like that.
There you go. There you go. Kick back, relax, enjoy Riv, a couple bourbons, watch the weather go around you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and always a pleasure hopping on and talking a little golf.
Yeah, beautiful, Matthew. Beautiful T-shirt tonight. That's all I got to say as well.
Shout out, long sleeves are in, baby. Got a new color here. It's a little turquoise-ish. I don't know. It's something different, but I like it.
Yeah. No, it works well with your skin tone. That's all I have to say.
All right, there you go. Eyes are popping too. Shout out, we restocked the t-shirts, added long sleeves in our last merch order. So if you are interested in a merch, get at us, text anybody on the staff, DM on Instagram, Twitter, wherever you got to do to get in touch with us, let us know, and we will get that out to you ASAP. We got plenty in stock now. I made sure I doubled up on the order after last time selling out in a week. So thank you to all who bought merch in the past, and we got more to give to you. So let us know.
All right. Cheers, buddy. Good chatting.
Cheers.